Thanks for staying with us. So for those of you that have been watching Your View for many years, you know that on Wednesdays we discuss business kind of related topics, but some of these stories are just so heavy. Our producers then say, I know, no, we can't wait till Thursday. We must talk about it. So we discussed Samuel Postu before the break. Now we're discussing our own friend of the house, Mercy Aigbe. Now, she's a popular actress, had on Sunday unveiled a married movie industry entrepreneur, Kazim Adeoti, as her beautiful, sparkling, as her new husband, I think, on social media. There are multiple reports that Mr. Adeoti's wife and Mr. Aigbe were friends in the past. There were also pictures of Mercy and her former husband, Mr. Gentry, posing with, you know, obviously they were friends and family friends. So this singular move of hers sparked a lot of outrage on social media, as some say she deliberately destroyed somebody else's peaceful home. Others said, that wife is not a saint self. She don't do it for, you know, there are different angles. You never know these things.
Husband snatcher.
Again, we don't, before the previous story was about a man going out. Now, this is about a woman who is happy. She's happy with her new husband. But now we hear that this man is also somebody else's husband who was happily married where he's coming from. And this kind of situation. So it's a bit messy.
Very.
But she's off to the honeymoon. I mean, I saw her post saying that she's got, I don't know, I don't know if I'm right, but she's been on honeymoon. So while we're all talking about it, she's hanging out somewhere in one country, I think, I'm not sure. But what are your thoughts on this message? Because, I mean, as I said, she's a friend of the house. She's not somebody that she's somebody that we all admire and appreciate the work she's done in the past.
She's been on our show a few times.
So she's not somebody who wants to, I'm not trying to bash, we just like to understand. Nima, understand.
You are Nigerian movie, local content person.
My go-to person, this kind of matter. What do you make of this entire story?
Okay, so one of my mothers, Mrs. Modume, used to say that if man die, now friends go marry wife. So the gist around was that, you know, her ex-husband, her new husband, his wife were all family friends. And it looked distasteful that, you know, she moved in between within that friendship to pick a new spouse. And so they suggested, even her ex-husband suggested that, you know, the relationship persisted while they were married. The only part for me, and that did surprise me, because, you know, this is normal. If you don't comport yourself in a certain way, these things are about to happen. You know, your husband's friends will think you're too well put together, you have dressed. Some who don't even have shame. They'll be while your husband is there. And you know, for some, when you speak up, it even destroys friendship. So some women will just handle it on their own. But what pained me was that this conduct has attendant effects, consequences. And one of such consequences is that they picked her son.
That's what hurt me the most.
And puts him on the front burner. And then they start to do a photo DNA for that boy.
Photo DNA, no?
Photo DNA, no.
That hurts me so bad.
That hurts me because, unfortunately, where we live, that poor boy will now be the one to deal with the choices
His parents made.
First person, of his mother. And so when we don't want to hold ourselves to standards, I'm not judging. Islam says don't judge by your standards. So my standards are different. And the way I bash myself with my standards are different. But when we don't hold ourselves to certain standards, for the reason, just for the simple reason that we have people who our choices can affect. So I was, you know, dating someone and his friend wanted to date me. So between the two of them, somebody had said to one person, I will date her. When I broke up with this person, the innocent one plus the guilty one, all of you go. I cannot be in that same circle. I cannot be said to date this one. You can't be exchanged. Amongst two friends, you can't exchange me. For some people, that's the standards. For some people, you cannot leave one room. But in some places, let me use the Yoruba proverb. Can complete it.
I really don't know. I don't even know the proverb.
But you cannot be going to Ogbomoso and Oyo and coming back and not know the ending of that proverb. I'll leave it for the Yoruba viewers.
They will send me, they'll trust them, they'll come and send me right now. But you see, let me come to Mariam, your thoughts on this. What are your initial thoughts? Let me just start with the initial thoughts.
Yeah, some things are not so black and white. So face value now, it just seems, it looks bad. If you were in a close relationship with that other family, and now you're the one in there. It just looks bad. But I also know that sometimes when you dig a bit further, things are not so plain like that. So I'm just giving scenarios because I've seen that play out many, many times. There's this particular celebrity I follow. She lives in America. She got married to her husband. She's always been the family friend of that family. She's close to him, his wife, his children, and many years after they get married, he divorces or his wife divorces him, and then they get married. And the world came for her. How dare you? But it took a picture of her and the ex-wife together saying, there are no hard feelings here. We had moved on a long time, and I'm happy that my husband decided to be with this woman. So there's that part of the story where the first couple have actually moved on, and this is not a stealing, snatching situation. This is just that we have moved on, and now I'm happy for them. Then there are stories of people who it was, because there's the story of, there's a message from the ex-wife going around where she says, you don't lose something that never loved you or appreciated you. So it also looks like this is a woman that, see, take whatever it is you have, take it and go. I don't really even want anything from this. And I haven't heard her say anything else concerning this. Now I hear that Mr. Aigbe's former husband is the one that put the pictures out because for him it was, well, whatever, he had suspicions during the marriage. And so for him, this has now confirmed it. Even though he's moved on to his own new family. He has a wife now. And people are asking, if you have moved on to your family, you have a wife now, why then are you having this conversation? So I understand the hurt that may come from it. It will be like, you caused our marriage to break down because this was what was on ground. I had my suspicions, you denied it, and now you have confirmed it, that the reason our marriage broke down was not just because of me or my, suspicions that were not at that time, could not be verified, and now here you are. So I understand that anger, if that is how it happened. But I remember also stories of domestic violence. There were videos of her coming out crying that she was hit. So while she was being beaten, who was comforting her?
I was going to come to this story of love. I mean, Topa is always saying she's a love person. It's about love. You can't help who you fall in love with. If I marry you out of convenience, or maybe you were there to help me during my career, both of us just got together, and it was just convenient, and we now have 3 children together. But as we're in this marriage, you're friends with Mariam, and I now fall in love with Mariam, and I see this is where my true heart belongs. So yes, we have 2 children together because it was convenient, and you're good to me. You're not a bad person. But that spark is not there. But I get the spark with Mariam, who happens to be a friend. And because she's friends with us, we're all family and friends, the spark is here. So if both of you now say, maybe it's not working properly, am I not free to marry Mariam? Even though I know. So where does that play in the fact that our children's adults, they are allowed to love whomever it is they choose to love, regardless of the circumstances surrounding this love?
You will do it with respect, though. Yeah. You will do it with respect. Because there are just too many things. And what I would have thought is there might have been a behind-the-scenes conversations before this one happened. And it does not look like that was what happened in this case.
So we've discussed that part before, and I've always had the opinion that I don't believe that if there's any justification for friendships, mutual friendships to evolve into marriage. It just looks messy. For me, Mercy Aigbe, very beautiful, hardworking lady. This is messy, above this. But she's entitled to her joy. Here are the things I had issues with concerning this thing. Because everybody will say, I want to be happy, I can't do anything, I want to be happy. And I've always questioned that happiness in quotes, where it's that selfish happiness and its effects, ripple effects on other people around you. I feel that, one, is either you're my friend or you're not my friend. And we must put it into the right context. This is family friend. You guys are family friends together, and then you are now getting married and putting it all over social media. It just feels very, very you know, this valueless society we live
in the past.
Yes,
because there was no social media.
So the truth is, there's nothing new on earth. Yoruba people say there's nothing new on earth, and there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing that has ever happened before, but it does not rid us of what our values are. And I'm not going to judge her for what she's done. She's owned herself, and she's come out to say this is what she's going to do. What I feel, though, is that we must begin to think of the future of what we're doing. You know, the future of what we're doing. I'm doing this for me selfishly has impact on the lives of others. The man obviously hasn't forgiven. The ex-husband obviously hasn't forgiven. The man is still bitter. The man was the one that brought this thing online. And then there's this story of people saying, were you dating? Both of you were married. Both of you were dating. Both of you now separated, and both of you have now married each other. Very, very messy. It's not right. It's not right. It's not right.
But how does this thing concern the public? Like, why are we so involved? Why do we even care?
Okay, this is how
social media now. They're the ones that put it out there.
This is how it concerns the public. So the previous marriage broke down. Videos showed the ex-husband driving and tailing her in a particular place in Omole where she went to do her hair. He was claiming she had left the house to see someone. She was claiming she had left the house because she was being abused. Yeah. So the detail, the gray area of that story was, if she was being abused, okay, why are you the abuser? His insistence, she's cheating in that marriage, was it's not provocation for any man to go crazy if he had the facts. And, you know, we sort of killed that story and sat on her side because abuse was on the front burner. So physical violence is not something people tend to look away from. But one of strong such defense in provocation is usually cheating. Infidelity. So, and he never had his side. So the moment she decides to come public now, with her newfound happiness and relationship, he says, finally, I'll put the picture out there and get my side of the story out there. Not necessarily because he's not moved on, but because, you know, just as Miriam said, there was that silence and people rested the story on the abuse. I particularly believe the abuse story, and so what? But no, so you need to tell your story. And so he did. He put the picture out there. And now everybody now used that and went back with the same drama.
So when we say when we say she didn't do it respectfully, is that fair? Is that a fair statement? Because she gave it time. On that. She gave it time. I mean, this thing happened quite some years back. She gave it time to simmer down before she now came out, because the truth is that she really loves this new guy.
You know, reach there. It might not be, because just as you said, sorry, just as you said, at a particular point in your career, one person was helpful, and later you fell in love, and then you've moved on. So it might be that that other person too is helpful. They're still in the same business. So for me, she didn't necessarily do something bad. The only part is that while your marriage is subsisting, you must respectfully comport yourself. So you cannot be seen to be around the person who is your fling. As I am now with all my kinikon, I might have somebody that I secretly admire. But if I know that person, I will not be in the same circle. I'll do everything possible to stay away from that person because I'm a married woman. I must carry myself like that. Now, if our marriage did not work,
but she seems to have stayed away now. She stayed away.
No.
She stayed away because for her to remarry now, it means that other one has probably divorced.
She's marrying now. Does it mean they were not together now?
No, but does that mean that they were together since then? So that's another thing. We don't know that. We don't know for sure if this is who she was according to her cheating with. Yes. What if it wasn't? What if it was a breakdown of her marriage and she's been single all this time and now decided, now I'm a free woman and
I want to be happy. That's a good thing
to be with this person. But then it still looks bad because we are family. Were family.
That one doesn't. I don't subscribe to that one. You can marry your cousin. No, that one I don't. That one.
So you don't have issues.
But that does not mean that was based on
anywhere
cheating.
you find your happiness.
So you don't have an issue.
But don't cheat into that relationship. Don't cheat your other spouse into it. But wherever you find your happiness, even if it's the younger brother of your ex-husband.
God forbid anything happens to you now. Your friend will now marry your husband.
She's welcome. She doesn't depend on my children.
And I've always disagreed. So
okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm told I have a caller. Good morning. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, Rosemary. Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Oh, thank you very much. I just want to say you guys are doing a really good job. picking up on these various topics. Morayo, shout out to you and the other ladies.
Thank
and
you.
Also shout out to you.
Thank you.
As well. Concerning the discussion you're having this morning, I just want people to get one thing into their head. No man whatsoever is good. And the moment we pick that up, knowing that no one is good, then our expectations would always be zero for everybody. That's one thing we have to get. But one thing I must say in relating to all this is that there is always accountability for every action, and every action that anyone does, man or woman, not just the woman alone, men as well. For every action, there must be an accountability. So once we get that into our head, I think everything that we expect from people will just be at zero level. That's just my contribution.
Thank you very much, Rosemary. So everybody will be accountable for every act you do. Okay, let's take a few messages on social media. Do you have any?
There are messages, though.
Want to start?
Yes. Ken Kelvin is saying perhaps while she and her ex-husband were having issues, this friend may have been the one comforting her, showing her the love, which in my opinion is wrong. No matter how we look at it, it is wrong. Kelvin also said there's something going on when she was still married. Feelings don't come from the blues if there was no closeness.
Well, let me give it time to have... It was many years ago, right?
Can I ask a question? When a woman, as I think I tried to ask it earlier, when a woman is in a marriage with somebody, and then she meets her husband's friend, who she seemed to connect with much better.
Remove your eye.
How does she deal with it? Because that's what we're not assuming that's what happened with Matthew. I'm just saying that.
We answer you too.
How did you
answer? Starve such feelings.
You should starve it.
Kill it.
If you were not married,
burn it.
You can be dating one guy and be in love with another guy. You wait out even your relationship. The Prophet Islam said, do not price what your brother has taken. So if a man has asked for Miriam's hand, okay, maybe I asked for Miriam's hand in marriage. Don't cannot now come and say, if Miriam accepts. Yeah. She has to wait out Miriam what somebody else give me a no, clearly, before she can proceed and say, well, I've always liked you.
Which seems like what has happened in this case.
Yeah,
because
so that there's a respect.
And then
so that there's respect. So if you're a woman and you're in a relationship, marriage, and you have somebody that you're desiring, you have to starve to death.
All right, Kelvin, let me take Kelvin. Are you there?
Yes, please.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm calling from Holland.
Yes, welcome to the show.
Yes, please. I want to contribute to this conversation.
Yeah.
And can I go ahead?
Please do. You're live.
Okay, thank you, Mariah. Thank you so much. Yeah, and I think I want to go with Tope's contribution earlier that to question happiness when situations like this arise. People come out, go, because of my happiness, it's my happiness, to justify certain behaviors. I can, to marry someone is not a thing that happens with just like a magic wand. I want to marry you today, and that's it. We're going to get married. This lady must have had something with this guy. Talked about it. They, agreed to get married to him. It is a process. They must have had something earlier before deciding, you know what? You're going to go to the altar and be a couple. So it is a lot of underhand has gone behind the husband before they came to the public. So Tope was right. And
right.
We all, every time we see justification for certain, suspicion.
Right. Okay,
yeah, so we're speculating, right? And we can speculate either side. So it could be that relationship was going on while she was still in her marriage, and in that case, that was completely and utterly wrong. And then there's also the scenario where it could have been that it was after her marriage, she's moved on, she's cried, and she not even cried while she was in the marriage. She just moved on and now decided that, we can have a relationship because here I am now a single woman. And that can also happen. Both, these scenarios can exist And one is wrong, but the other is okay. The other is fine. If she was a single woman available for marriage and to be in a relationship, that is fine.
She's entitled to her happiness. So she has a friend that says, oh, congratulations, dear.
And the same friend. Okay, so but before we go to that one, your question was on, see, at every point in time, you'd always see something you like. The men feel that way too.
Abi?
It's about commitment. As you've already said, this is the person I'm going to marry. I've already said yes to this person. The tall, dark and handsome, wealthy guy by his side that shows up, I will look at him and be like, maybe if I had met him before I married, but I'm already married.
Commitment.
So I'm going to stay committed.
Responsibility.
Yes. I'm going to stay committed to this relationship, and you will stay committed. Even though your eye wants to go there, you will bring your eye back.
So how do you kill it? How do you kill it? You talk about killing it. You said burn it. How do you burn it?
Burn, stab, disconnect.
How? You your husband's friend that comes around to come and say hello.
No. You disconnect.
How do you disconnect from your husband's friend?
Here's the thing. We don't need to have a conversation. I don't need to have a conversation with my husband's friend. I greet, I go. We don't nurture that relationship. What you don't nurture.
But it's in your industry. You meet him at work and he's producing a movie. Yes.
I want to ask, is it possible? Have you ever thought about it? Can you sit with your husband and say, you know, that's your friend. I'm quite attracted to him. Can we stop? And it's affecting me.
We cannot have that kind of conversation.
Can we have
that kind of conversation?
Can we be that open?
No,
I trust my husband. My husband trusts me. And this is a problem I have. Wait, this is a problem I have. Before it becomes something. This is it. I've laid it down.
We tell our husband.
You know the strength of his mind.
Can you tell your husband?
Nima, I will deal with it on my own.
Exactly.
And I will deal with it with my staff. I've done it twice. I once had, my husband who came in for this, he's a friend of his, who jokingly, first year of my marriage, said that, I thought your wife was introducing me as her husband. I said, just because you have a car, we don't have a car. If he comes to the house, I don't host him. I don't talk to him. In fact, I killed the real friendship between the two of them. I do that one well. Then I had someone who...
That's because you don't like him. I'm talking about a guy that you're attracted to.
Who knows I'm married. When I joined Your View, when I'm on the show, would send me messages.
You're looking very beautiful.
Nima, you're so fine.
You know,
Small. In fact, there was a day my husband picked my phone and said, why is this person blocked on your phone? I was like, is it blocked? Is it blocked? I pretended I didn't know. I blocked the person for years. And he wanted to use my phone to call the person. I was like, how is it blocked? Because, you see, the mind, what I believe trust is knowing a person. Trust is knowing how a person fights their personal battles. That's why I use that time. Trust is knowing that.
So shouldn't we have open conversations?
So over the years, the actions that I have taken in the past is what
I can't hear anybody, guys. What I say. So let me finish.
Over the years, the actions that the person has taken on issues over the past, in their past for years, is what you would trust that this is how this person would deal with it. This is something this person would hate.
Right.
You know, this is something the person, and that is how you
run out of time. Let me come to you. You're asking that question.
So, I cannot have that conversation with my husband, not because we don't have very open trust conversation. It's just because I know that I'll be sowing a seed in his mind that I'm looking at somebody.
Thank you.
And so he'll begin to look at, is she looking at that person in a funny way? Is she looking at that person? So I don't want to sow that seed. I want him to just assume that
you don't see
I can handle anything. Because if I admit I can handle. Because I can handle. You know, I know I can handle because I will be able, even if I am attracted to someone or I see something I like, I would deliberately cut it off. So I know I can handle.
Similar to my recent experience.
Yes, now, I would cut it off. So if I let him know that I get vulnerable, he will begin to wonder how vulnerable can I get? And I'll begin to make him think, maybe you can get. Yes.
Something called whispering.
I just handle and move on.
Okay.
Don't have that conversation. Make sure you handle it.
Fantastic. Let's talk about the person who has decided to handle and not say anything, and then
you could not move on.
Now, not only are you vulnerable, you are also a doer of bad things, and I would never, ever, you know. So I feel that we should try and normalize open conversation. I know a lot of us here, especially you've talked about, you discuss everything with your husband, you say everything to your husband, so then you should normalize that part of you that you're struggling with.
So I have a caller. Yes. I'm on air. Yes. Can you hear me? Okay, I will. All right.
So this is where I would like to. I don't want to close the show without saying that.
So that was Mercy Aigbe that called me, actually. I'm sure she wanted to say something, but I'm not seeing her message. I'm not seeing. She just sent me a message. Send me, Mercy, I can't get your message. She just sent me a message. Maybe she wanted to say something.
So
But
this is what
really
I want
nice
to say
hear from
quickly.
her.
So
Yeah.
when some of us support the regulation of social media, it's because of things like this. And it's not because of the adults in question. When a person makes a joke or a popular message or something to trend on a child, something has to, government has to, something has to be, it is illegal. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
So somebody has, there has to be consequences.
Should be prosecuted.
Who started the photo DNA? Why is it trending?
Yes.
There's nothing tasteful, there's nothing exciting about it.
She didn't put her children outside. She didn't put her son outside. Somebody chose to do that, and it was
that
wrong.
a story. So for me, the adults, she has her choices, but for the child,
that broke my heart. I have to tell you, when I saw that picture, that broke my heart. I felt that child
that
didn't
always.
deserve that. Yes.
Okay, so for some reason, I'm not getting her message, but you know what? We can always continue this conversation tomorrow based on my message from Mercy. She called me, and I know she wanted to say something. It would be great to hear from her directly, because this story is about, as I said, listen, it's about her happiness. We're not here to judge, and we're just here to learn from each other's experiences. Let's wrap up. Oh, text just came in now.
It's not something you should read on.
Okay, she just says that. So she's clearing it very clearly that I just want to make the correct impression. Adekaz isn't Lanre Gentry's friend. So category, this is directly from Mercy Aigbe saying that this guy that was saying is not Lanre Gentry's friend. So if you guys have matched the pictures, that's probably not correct. They were never friends. So we're just having a conversation on that. But from Mercy Aigbe directly, they were never friends. So Emma
Lanre Gentry put out the picture.
How about her? Was she friends with the wife?
That's the question on that time. Let's wrap up the show. Emma Kogbosi Walakmo, we're not friends. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.